Good afternoon all. Today I'm looking at Suaoki's 16-watt USB foldable solar panel. So let's open the box, and inside we have a user manual, the solar panel, now also some carabiners which can be used to attach the solar panel, which has these fabric loops, onto a backpack or something like that. And then the only other thing in here is a standard USB charging lead, USB type A to USB micro. So the solar panel unfolds like this. There's a little magnetic flap here, and then we open it up. Got some protective pieces in here, and there are 3 sections in total, each containing 4 of these solar panel wafers. You can just see the corners of them there. And then on the back we've got a pouch here with a zip, and inside there, can't see it at the moment, let's get a better view. So inside here there's space to put a mobile phone or other device that you're charging, and there's also this box which is fixed into there, which has 2 USB sockets and also a little red LED. Let's try and get that red LED to light up. Now it's not very bright in here, and it's actually a pretty overcast day today, but by opening the whole thing up I have managed to get the red LED to come on. Now this user manual is refreshingly brief. I mean, there is very little in here at all, but there is some specifications, so let's take a quick look at that. Now there's something quite interesting here. Power is specified as 16 watts. But the output from one charging port is 5 volts, 2.1 amps max. Now you can get watts by multiplying volts and amps, and 5 times 2.1 gives us 10.5. So the maximum output from one of the charging ports is 10.5 watts. But of course there are 2 charging ports. So is it possible to get the full 16 watts by outputting power from both charging ports? Well, there's only one way to find out. We're going to have to take it outside and put it under the sun. Well, now there's no sun today. It's very cloudy, but let's see how we get on anyway. So here's my outdoor setup. I've put the Suaoki 16-watt USB panel on the wall here. Now, because I can't get into the sockets which are inside here, you can see the red LED is lit up there. I'm using a short extension cable, USB extension. To monitor volts, amps and watts, I'm using YZX Studio's latest LCD power monitor. Then I have a short cable, which I know is a good quality one, and I'm going to charge this Avantec power bank. I've chosen this one because I know this draws a heavy current. This will draw 2 amps if it gets the chance. So let's see what sort of numbers we get out of this system. Now, I'm not expecting miracles today because it is very heavily overcast. The skies are quite dark, but let's see what numbers come out of that power monitor. Now, with no load on the panel, the power bank is not actually connected at the moment. We're getting a very respectable 5.3 volts. Of course, there's no amps flowing at the moment, no accumulated watt hours and no watts. So it's time to plug in the power bank. Now this thing's only got 2 LEDs showing, so it's less than half charged, so it should be drawing the maximum current that it can. Let's take a look at the monitor. And as predicted, the power level is quite low. It's just 0.55 watts. So it's only delivering about half a watt, and that's a 16-watt panel. But this is not at all surprising, because there's no sun and solar panels are very badly affected by cloud. But there's something else to note here. The voltage has dropped way down. It's just 4.2 volts. Now that's going to be very marginal for charging a lithium battery, whether it's a mobile phone or a power bank, because to be fully charged they need 4.2 volts. Now this has been running for 11 minutes. This is a 20,000 milliamp hour power bank. Phones generally don't have such high capacities, but let's see how many milliamp hours we've had so far. Well, just 13.5. So in this kind of sunlight, or lack of it, it would take an age to charge a power bank or a mobile phone. But a couple of weeks ago, we had some good strong sunshine, and I did a fair number of tests on this Suaoki panel. So let's have a look at the recordings I did then to see how much power you can get out of it when you've got a good strong sun. It's not a completely cloudless sky, but it's not bad. Over here it's pretty good. Not many clouds there. Now it's September the 19th today, so we're only 2 days away from the autumn equinox, so the sun isn't as high in the sky as it would be in mid-June, but waiting for next June to do these tests would be rather impractical, so I'm going to go with this, but I'm not going to get as much power as I would do in June. A quick on-axis test. I've tipped the panel up. It's quite hard to film this, but let's just see what we get. And I'm getting just over 8 watts, so that I think is about the maximum. And the sun's actually gone behind quite a thick bit of cloud. There isn't much of it, but it's fairly thick. And so no surprise that the power's dropped right off to just 3/4 of a watt. So I'm back to the Suaoki panel now, the nominally 16 watt, but maximum would be 10.5 watts. Now it's slightly tilted up because I've just lifted the back of the stand up out of the hole in the grass and up onto the grass. The shadows are virtually pointing backwards, so it's pretty much on axis. And this is developing about 8.2, possibly as much as 8.25 watts into the greediest power bank that I've got. So you can see from that back in September, when it was sunny, I was able to get about 8.25 watts from this panel, which was quite impressive, I thought. But even back then, when the sun went behind a cloud, this thing dropped to 3/4 of a watt. Now let's see what we've got now. Well, things have actually got worse now. I'm actually only getting 0.2 of a watt because it's getting later in the afternoon. It's actually getting darker. So certainly in cloudy conditions, the output from this sort of panel very low, but when sunny, really quite impressive. Now back then I did some tests connecting 2 devices to the 2 sockets in here, but I wasn't able to realize any more power drawing from 2 sockets than I was from 1. It would be convenient if you needed to charge 2 devices, but you're not going to get any more power into those 2 devices than you can get into a single device. And you may find it more convenient to charge a power bank from this solar panel than charging a mobile phone directly, and then use the power from the power bank later on to charge phones or tablets or whatever other devices you have. So that's the Suaoki 16 watt USB foldable solar panel. Now you're never going to get 16 watts out of a 16 watt solar panel, it's unrealistic, but under September sun I got 8.2 watts out of this. It wouldn't surprise me if under the June sun in the middle of summer this could develop 10 watts, and that's really quite impressive. Now you're always going to be better off charging from the mains if you can, but if you are in the middle of nowhere and the only power source you've got is the sun and it's summer, then this could make a good alternative to a mains charger. In the winter it's not going to be very useful. So here's the item on Amazon.co.uk. It's the Suaoki 16 watt solar panel, £32.99, free delivery in the UK, and I will put links to this item in the description on Amazon UK and Amazon.com. Cheerio.